let's move on and talk a little bit more about Dan Campbell. How can we properly measure if Campbell is going to be good enough to stick around and be a long-term option for the Dolphins?
Depends on how motivated and inspired that this team is to finish the season strong. Last week I said that an 8-8 season is kind of my barometer, my metric point to see whether or not this guy has it as a head coach. That will require him to win 7 of the 12 games that he's going to be coaching as the Miami Dolphins head coach. 7 of 12 is not a bad ratio. Now, injuries will factor in. Your opponents, the caliber of opponents, and as we all know, the end of the season gets tough.
It's tough.
It's tough.
They're at home, but it's tough.
It's tough. There are a lot of games at home, starting with this one against the Texans. But then you got a short turnaround Thursday night against the New England Patriots, who there might not be a better team in football than the New England Patriots right now. So you've got a tough stretch of schedule ahead. I said that I'm not going to judge Dan Campbell until I've seen him coach 4 games. That was the Tennessee, this week against Houston. The Patriots, you can't get blown out I don't expect you to win, but I certainly don't want you to get blown out. And then the Buffalo Bills. That, to me, is going to be the great measuring stick. Go up to Buffalo and see if your physical team can match a physical team. Who's got the tougher team?
Who's already beat the tar out of you.
Who beat the snot out of you. Yeah. You need to see how he coaches, how he can continue to motivate and get guys to respond. Right now, week 1, it's great to emotionally charge you. I put a battery in your back and you're fully charged. But the question is, 3 weeks from now, probably when you've taken on a couple of L's, will you still be playing hard? Will you still want to fight? Will you still want to compete? Will you still be pushing? And we don't know that yet.
Well, and it's going to be up to Campbell to kind of learn this. He's learning this on the fly.
And also factor in that this is a new style of team. Teams don't know what to expect because they've never seen a Dan Campbell coach team.
Right.
Now that it's on film, and next week when it's on film, teams are going to start to adjust to that. How do you counter to those adjustments? That, to me, is the key to good coaching. Let's
take our next Twitter question. It comes from James. He said, did Miami change from a finesse team to a physical team, or is it too soon to tell?
I think they did the mentality, the 2 tight end sets. I mean, that has to be the staple of the offense, the play action, the rolling the quarterback out. I have been begging for them to roll Ryan Tannehill out since we've been doing shows together.
Yes, we have.
And finally, they did it. It's a cheap play. Yes, you cut the field in half. Give him 2 read options and a run option. How difficult is that? I'm not saying that he has to have a steady diet of it, but call it 7 times a game.
Right.
Maybe it'll work. And maybe you'll get cheap first down runs.
Right, exactly.
A first down run by your quarterback is just as important as a 15-yard pass to me. So it moves the change. It occupies time of possession. Why not include it into the offense? And you saw a lot of Ryan Tannehill under center. You saw a lot of Ryan Tannehill on the move. You saw a lot of 2 tight end sets. You saw a lot of fullback use. That should be the Dolphins. You don't have to always be in shotgun and be throwing the ball 70% of the time. You are better as a running team. You need to take the pressure off Ryan Tannehill. He's not an elite quarterback. He shouldn't be throwing the ball as much as an elite quarterback. Take the pressure off him by balancing it out and running the ball. And I think that this is a great start.
That brings up another live question that we got, and I don't have, from TKD. How can Dan Campbell get the most out of Ryan Tannehill? Is Dan Campbell good for Ryan Tannehill?
I think the fact that he's put Ken O'Keefe in that quarterback room helps. I think the fact that Al Saunders is there working with the right receivers, 40 years of veteran experience, that helps. You saw Kenny Stills included into the starting lineup. Congratulations to him because that's what he was added to do, to stretch the field. You saw Ryan Tannehill backed up into his end zone, first down. He's throwing a 30-yard pass to Ryan Tannehill. I mean, to Kenny Stills. When the Titans were giving them single safety high, teams give Dolphins single safety high looks 30 times a game. Ryan Tannehill usually doesn't take the bait. You've got to throw that pass to make teams defend you honestly. And throwing that pass, whether it's completed, whether you get a pass interference, is important and critical. Ryan Tannehill has rarely ever done that. Now Dan Campbell's saying, throw the pass. Stop being scared. Stop being conservative. Be aggressive. We're going to be an aggressive team, and I think that that's a great start, and it could lead to more forward progress. And I got to be honest with you, I expected a lot from Ryan Tannehill this season. I expected him to take the next jump from a 92.8 rated quarterback to probably a 95 rated quarterback. Right now, we're in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's not good enough. Right now, two teams gave you two of your worst games in the NFL. You had two good starts, and then you had two horrible plays. What you saw against the Titans is kind of what I expect. Kind of, hopefully, that's what you will get for the final remaining games.
He certainly has enough weapons to do it.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey, all right.
Got to be about Ryan Tannehill.
They always are, right?
Yes.
This one is actually not about Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, look at that.
This challenge also comes from TKD, so he's getting a lot of love today.
Okay.
So shout out to TKD. He says, Omar, last year against the Bills, you said it was time for Dallas Thomas to prove he's a starting caliber guard in the NFL. He gave up so much pressure and multiple sacks.
How many times do I have to call for Dallas Thomas to get benched before he is actually benched is what TKD wants to ask me. I feel like I pick on Dallas Thomas a lot because I do.
Gives up big plays.
When I do highlight the mistakes that the Dolphins make, and usually I put something on Instagram, it'll usually be Dallas Thomas just olaying his man or missing his block, and it's not my fault. The problem that I've always had with this whole Dallas Thomas experiment is you don't know what the alternative is. Now, last week, we went into the same situation with Jamil Douglas, who was playing worse than Dallas Thomas, if you can imagine that. And the Dolphins said, we need to do something about it. Billy Turner grades out as the best performer on that offensive line in his first ever NFL start. If you do not explore the options, how are you ever going to know that it could possibly get better?
You don't know.
I'm okay with trying Sam Brenner out for 15 snaps. I'm okay with playing Jamil Douglas in a rotation with Dallas Thomas. You telling me that they can't rotate every 2 series and maybe you'll see that there's a noticeable difference? Do something. Do something. Because you're never... As an NFL team, I think I get this from Bill Parcells. You're only as good as your weakest link. Mm-hmm. Who is the weakest link on the Miami Dolphins team?
Well, it was Joe Philbin. Now Dallas.
No, we got to throw Joe Philbin under the bus. It is Dallas Thomas.
Okay.
Dallas Thomas, Walt Aikens, Dallas Thomas in that free safety spot, probably the inside linebacker spot are your weakest spots. You got to improve at all those areas. You got to improve at left guard. You got to improve at inside linebacker. You got to improve at free safety. If you don't, you're going to be a sub-500 team.
All right. Last week, you said
Uh-huh.
that the Dolphins were going to lose to the Titans.
Correct.
Are they going to beat the Texans?
I think that they're going to beat the Texans this week. I think that if we can stay consistent and continue to pound the ball and continue to own time of possession and continue to stop the run, that we could be looking at a new era of the Dolphins. I'm not saying that they're Super Bowl champs. I'm not saying that they're playoff caliber, but this is a team that's on an equal talent level from a playing field standpoint, equal quarterbacks. Brian Hoyer isn't going to beat you. Just don't beat yourself and run the ball. I think the Dolphins are going to win 24-17.
I'm going to say it's going to be even bigger. I think they win another big
Blowout?
one. I think it's going to be another blowout. I'm going to go 30-14.
Look at you.
Dolphins.
Two straight blowouts in the Dan Campbell era, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
And then maybe things change a little bit.
Definitely.
But not this week. Thanks for watching us. Make sure you send us your questions all week long by using the hashtag XOMAR on Twitter. You got some first and 10s up there, right?
Yes, first and 10. We just shot one with Jonas Gray, Dolphins tight end. No, he's running back.
Running
Right.
back.
I was about to call him a fullback because he's got those big hamstring calves. But first and 10 with Jonas Gray.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us and watching X's and Omar right here on Sun-Sentinel.com.